Many people think empaths are weak because they stay longer than most people would. They forgive things that should never be forgiven. They absorb tension. They explain your behavior to themselves so they can keep believing in the good inside you. But what most people never realize is that empaths are always watching, quietly, carefully, constantly measuring emotional safety. And the moment they fully understand that your presence is damaging their peace, they do something most people never see coming. They disappear. Not dramatically, not loudly, not with revenge. They simply remove access to themselves. And once that happens, getting them back becomes nearly impossible. Because an empath does not leave impulsively. They leave after emotional exhaustion has already reached its limit. The dangerous part is this. Most people think the final argument caused the separation. It didn't. The separation started months earlier. It started the moment the empath realized their emotions were being handled carelessly. Empaths can survive conflict. They can survive misunderstandings. They can even survive betrayal longer than they should. But there is one thing they cannot survive for. Versus emotional unsafety. The human nervous system is always scanning for danger. And for empaths, emotional danger feels physical. Disrespect changes their body language. Manipulation changes their breathing. Inconsistency creates silent anxiety inside them. They may smile while it's happening, but internally, they're already withdrawing. And this is where most people make the biggest mistake. They assume silence means acceptance. It doesn't. An empath becomes quiet when they are emotionally calculating. They stop explaining themselves because they realize understanding was never the goal. They stop arguing because they notice the pattern never changes. They stop reacting because they're studying whether the relationship is draining their spirit. That emotional distance grows slowly, almost invisibly, until one day, they emotionally detach completely. And once an empath emotionally detaches, something shifts permanently. The attachment that once made them tolerate everything suddenly disappears. This is why people become shocked when empaths leave. Because the empath looked patient right until the end. But patience is not endless love. Sometimes patience is simply a delayed goodbye. One of the fastest ways to lose an empath is repeated emotional invalidation. When someone constantly dismisses their feelings, minimizes their pain, or makes them feel too sensitive, the empath begins associating vulnerability with danger. That changes everything, because empaths only stay connected where emotional honesty feels safe. The moment openness becomes punished, mocked, or ignored, they begin building emotional walls silently. And unlike toxic people, empaths don't always announce those walls. They just stop reaching for you emotionally. The calls become shorter. The energy changes. The warmth disappears. The emotional access slowly closes. At first, most people don't notice. Then suddenly, one day, they realize the empath is completely gone. No drama, no chaos, no need for closure, just absence. And the scariest part? Empaths often disappear peacefully after they've suffered privately for a very long time. They don't leave because they stopped loving you. They leave because loving you started destroying them. That's what people misunderstand about emotionally intelligent individuals. The stronger someone is emotionally, the longer THEY often tolerate unhealthy environments before walking away. Not because they're blind, but because they see potential in people. They believe communication can fix things. They believe patience can heal things. They believe understanding can change things. Until reality proves otherwise. And once reality becomes undeniable, the empath changes permanently. This is where emotional neutrality appears. Not hatred, not revenge, not bitterness. Neutrality. That cold calmness people mistake for cruelty. But emotional neutrality is not cruelty. It is self-protection after prolonged emotional damage. The empath stops trying to save the relationship because they finally realize they were the only one emotionally carrying it. And carrying one-sided emotional weight eventually breaks even the kindest people. Most individuals never notice how close they are to losing an empath because empaths hide emotional pain exceptionally well. They continue showing up while hurting. They continue listening while exhausted. They continue loving while emotionally starving. But internally, They begin grieving the relationship long before it ends. That's why their final goodbye feels so calm. They already process the loss emotionally in silence. And once an empath reaches peace without you, your importance changes forever. Because peace is addictive to someone who spent years surviving emotional chaos. This is why manipulation eventually fails on emotionally aware people. Fear only works temporarily. Guilt only works temporarily. Control only works temporarily. Eventually, the empath realizes something life-changing. Attachment should never cost inner peace. That realization becomes the turning point. After that, they stop chasing explanations. They stop begging for consistency. They stop fighting for basic respect. They simply detach. Quietly. Completely. And when an empath disappears, it usually means they finally chose themselves after abandoning themselves for too long. That's the part people regret too late. Because genuine empaths are rare. The world is full of people who know how to take energy. Very few know how to genuinely protect yours. And once an empath realizes their kindness is being consumed instead of appreciated, they stop offering it. Forever. So if an empath grows silent around you, pay attention. Silence is rarely emptiness. Sometimes silence is the final stage before emotional disappearance. And once they leave emotionally, their body usually follows soon after.